I'm zombie but awake 밤비가 내려wake Can't wait no time is a game so I just put it all my way I'm zombie but awake 밤비가 내려wake
What is good, my crazies? Y'all, welcome back to the lab. Lee here in the stoop, man. Y'all saw that title too as well. We're going to be talking about the pre-programming, subliminal messages, and the agendas of the industries itself. Yes, every industry in the world does have an agenda, a pre-programmed plan that you see every day, like you see on the news, your TV shows, your movies, your music, to freaking your sports entertainment itself. All has an agenda for themselves, for you, and the masses. Now, before we get this going, y'all remember to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave those comments down below about what you believe in this subliminal messaging, pre-programming thoughts, and what you've seen before. Now, to do an introduction into this video, to actually start off and ease everybody into this, to get some believers, I'm going to use the NBA. I'm going to use some past references in the NBA for it too as well. Understand we're going to do this in due respect. We're trying to not use this in a way that it scares the masses, because this is not supposed to be fear porn at all. Now, I'm going to start off with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, the great Black Mamba, the great and late one and only greatest basketball player of all time, one of them at least, and we all know the tragic end of Kobe Bryant, and at the age of 41, tragically passing away. Now, maybe we have been pre-programmed that from the beginning to notice that and to kind of see what was going to happen of his future. It's scary to think it that way, but there's a commercial that was out there back in the day, the Black Mamba commercial, as you're seeing right here, and you see him about to take on these four people, as well as you see Bruce Willis and Kanye West. And everybody knows they're all part of the Illuminati, part of that whole gang, the Lizard Rouse, whatever you want to call it. But as you watch this commercial, you get this eerie sense of something going on. He's trying to get to the basket past the beast, as you saw, and then the ball gets in his hands, it's counting down, and he throws it up to the helicopter that explodes. Well, we all know his tragic end to the story, and we all know that him and his daughter tragically passed away in a helicopter crash. Now, if that is just not what you expected, not what you think that would be a subliminal messages, maybe a coincidence, well, look at this commercial from basically Pizza Hut, and it is a year before the pandemic. And she's talking about how they wish there was some people in the stands to share it, and the crowd walks into football, walks and all the players run in there, and there's nothing in the stands. Was this a pre-programmed subliminal messages to get us prepared to what we were going to see in the future, or what we saw anyway? With that said, here's also a year before the pandemic too as well kicked in, this opening ceremony at the basketball game, the Lakers be precise, and as you see basically this hazard mask guy in there on part of the screen of this whole warming up, part of the introduction, player introduction, you see this and it's like, wow, a year before, now it's like, hey, we notice it as part of everyday life now, but a year before any of that, before anything that is locked into our mind significantly. And it's crazy because it's even there saying, warning, be warned, you're being warned. And it is very eerie, very crazy, very spooky. But I'm going to go back a little bit further to the Space Jams. The Space Jam movie with Michael Jordan. Yes, the original Space Jam movie. You got to admit it was the best one. Sorry, LeBron, but going to the Space Jam movie, and we all know the premise of the movies. They steal the powers from the NBA players. They got to go play against the movies. You know the story. But the eerie thing about this is that this movie came out 23 years before the pandemic started. With that said, it also kind of predicted what was going to happen in events. It is weird to say or weird to throw out. It's you can make it what it is, but when you hear this, it's even crazier. Listen.
We got a game in 5 minutes. I mean, we're talking about a huge fine here.
No way, Coach. We can't go in the locker room.
Oh.
Heard what happened to Barkley and Ewing. There's got to be germs in there or something.
Yeah, that's right. That was in New York. 3,000 miles away.
Bacteria like that can travel faster than the speed of light. Yeah, it could be an invasion of the body snatchers.
Yeah, could be. All right. Dress in the hallway.
Listen, after meeting with team owners, I have decided that until we can guarantee the health and safety of our NBA players, there will be no more basketball this season.
The players scared because they don't want to get sick. There's some kind of virus that are making the players sick, as well as you see, the forum being shut down and saying, well, we have come to conclusion, all the NBA teams have come to conclusion, so we don't get nothing else till the problem's figured out. We are going to end the season for the year. It is a pre-programmed subliminal messages for you. These things don't happen right away. It happens when it happens. It's when it's time for that to happen. That's how these agendas work out. With this said, the last one I have for you is a little bit eerier too. It's a commercial from actually 2005. Here.
Man, what a blowout. Well, at least we beat the traffic.
And the Heat of Titan, what a comeback!
Come on!
He who leaves before the bell tolls may not be there when the story unfolds.
Now, in that commercial, yes, you saw the guys. They were leaving the arena before the game was over because they thought it was over, going on, and they turn on the radio and they hear, oh, the Heat have come back. Overtime. So they try to run back and try to get into the game, and you see good old Phil Jackson telling him and doing what he does. And, it's crazy. Yeah, oh, how can that be a subliminal message? But the Heat in 2011 came back for the game tying shot in the fourth quarter by Ray Allen to tie the game up, and the fans had already left that game just before, and when they heard it when it was going to go in overtime, they were trying to rush back in. How subliminal thought was that? Maybe you can call it a coincidence, maybe you can do whatever you want, but it was the Heat on the radio, and it was the Heat 8 years later happening, and the fans doing the same thing. What do you think about that? And what do you think about the rest of these kind of easy subliminal pre-program agenda messages that they put us right in front of our faces and we might not never notice, or we do notice and we don't take a thought about it? What do you think? Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, leave those comments, and remember, man, y'all keep that mind open, because those eyes, they'll see everything in front of you.
Hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.